I watched X-Men 97 and it was awesome. It's pretty crazy to see all the callbacks they did to the original X-Men animated series. After watching the first 2 episodes, I found 13 callbacks. Let's start with this one. Storm, Mistress of the Elements. She first used this iconic line when her and Rogue was trying to save Jubilee from some Sentinels at the mall. In X-Men 97, she used a similar line when she was trying to save Sunspot from the Friends of Humanity.
I am Storm, Mistress of the Elements. Surrender the boy, or face my fury.
It might have been a little overkill, but I would have liked her to say, I command you to release that child, just one more time. Next, let's move on to Sassy Summers. All of a sudden, everybody's a fan of Cyclops. And it could be partly because of this warehouse scene where he kicked everybody's ass.
Name's Cyclops. Definitely the good guy.
But the entrance he made where he introduced himself to Robert De La Costa reminded me of the first time he met Jubilee.
Who are you? Cyclops, get down. Energy blast, huh? Here's one from a pro.
And if you're a real fan of X-Men the Animated Series, you'll remember this scene.
Surrender, mutant. Of course. Not.
And Scotty Boy gave us that same kind of sass in X-Men 97.
Take his visor before he starts up again. No, don't! I surrender! Not.
Next, let's talk about Gambit inside of Hell's Kitchen. Seems like every time he's trying to cook something, there's nothing but chaos. Just like right here, he almost blew Cyclops' face off with the dessert he was making. Luckily, Jean saved him.
Remy, you could have hurt someone.
But it reminded me a lot of that holiday episode where Jean and Gambit were fighting about making Christmas dinner.
Oh, what's this here you're cooking?
It's called food, Gambit. Normal Christmas food.
Disney a little Gambit magic.
If you want to keep that hand, stay away.
Gambit just trying to help.
The day that I need your help in the kitchen is the day that I stop cooking.
Between Jean and Gambit, who do you guys think is the better cook?
Still know nothing about cooking no Christmas dinner.
Alright, next, let's talk about waking up with Beast. So after the Sentinel's knockout gas wears off, Jubilee wakes up in the lab. She tries to escape, but she runs into Beast.
It would be quite disconcerting if this were to detonate.
How do I get out of here?
In X-Men 97, the same thing happens to Sunspot. He wakes up in Beast Lab, and Jubilee is there, and she recalled the same thing happening to her.
Salutations and welcome. I'm Big McCoy here, or if you prefer my friendly nom de guerre, Beast. That there at the foot of your bed is...
Name's Jubilee, and dude, I get it. One day life's fresh, then the next day you're waking up to a blue monkey singing Mozart as he tinkers with doohickeys.
Alright, I don't know if you guys have been keeping count, but we're on number 5, and it's time to get physical. So in X-Men 97, I noticed that Dr. Cooper was running on the treadmill. Automatically, I thought back to X-Men the Animated Series when they had another government official using some workout equipment.
Wanted to see me, Madam President?
So as you guys can see here, they got the president on a Stairmaster. That's pretty crazy. Now speaking of fit, in X-Men 97, they had the whole team playing basketball. And if you remember in X-Men the Animated Series, they had Wolverine, Jubilee, and Gambit doing the same thing. Aside from playing basketball, if the X-Men want to work out, they can always go in the danger room. And it seems like Wolverine loves to play tackle tag.
Show the ladies some respect.
He did it to Sunspot in X-Men 97, and he also did it to Gambit in X-Men the Animated Series.
Tag, you're it. This game is over.
Probably one of the most famous scenes in X-Men the Animated Series is when Wolverine cuts the top off a Cyclops car and gives him a convertible.
Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible.
And when I was watching X-Men 97, I thought, was Jean trying to get back at him for that? Because when Wolverine was trying to take Jean to the hospital because she was in labor, her powers flipped all the way out, and she ripped the top off of his Jeep, giving him a convertible. You think she did that on purpose, or was that just a coincidence? Okay, now we get to Magneto. They got my boy on trial for his accused crimes against humanity. And during that trial, Storm gets hurt very, very badly. Not gonna give you any spoilers in case you haven't seen it, but this scene is pretty crucial. And then Magneto drops this line.
What must we do to be good enough? Is this the high road's destination? If so, I say as I have too many times
As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, I heard that in X-Men the Animated Series.
Please, I've got a family, children. Be quiet. When I was a boy, I saw men executed, women and children. Each night I swore to myself, never again.
I'm a little obsessed, just a little. Okay, so now we get to my girl Rogue, and during the Phoenix Saga, they had her catching everybody.
Oh, what is this? Catch the X-Men Day?
And I remember her saying, what is this, Catch the X-Men Day? And she said it again in X-Men 97.
Another Catch the X-Men Day.
So Rogue wasn't the only one that was catching bodies, Morph was too. And when I saw him turn into Archangel, I almost lost it. Archangel's another one of my favorite X-Men. And this wasn't his first time turning into Warren Worthington III. He did it in a later season in X-Men the Animated Series. The team was yet again fighting more Sentinels. He changed to Omega Red, Sasquatch from Alpha Flight, and then he changed into Angel in a bad suit. Alright, let's circle back to badass Scott Summers. Many people don't know all the ways he can use his optic blast, like in this scene right here, where he used it to literally slow down his fall. And he's done this before, not in X-Men the Animated Series, but in X-Men Evolution. Cyclops and his brother Havoc used their powers in the same way to make sure they didn't crash. This one was cool, but I think 97 was better. This one right here, as soon as I saw Jubilee and Sunspot on the tower talking, I automatically thought about the first episode when Storm was talking to Jubilee, explaining to her who are the X-Men and what they are about.
Like Professor Xavier is our leader, and he has named us the X-Men.
And now you have Jubilee doing the same thing for Sunspot.
This isn't some weird school. It's a family.
Alright, so this one I was not expecting. After watching episode 1, they did the Xavier files. I remember seeing these back in the day, thinking they were going to be the action figures that were eventually going to go to Toys R Us. But these were just 3D models showing you who the X-Men were and what their powers were. And they did the same thing in X-Men 97. These are clearly just character sheets, but back then I could have swore they were going to be toys. If you guys want to see more videos like this, check out the Comic Lounge. I post a lot of random superhero stuff. I even posted a more in-depth video about the callbacks I found from X-Men 97. So with that said, I'll be back with some more art videos on this channel. Thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate all the love I got on my last video, The Mask of Doom. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out right here.